everyone. Welcome into the Rob and Kale Show. I'm Rob Sanders. Thanks for joining me this evening as we've got a jam-packed show for you. I don't know what happened to my opener there. It should be playing, but it's not. So that's my fault. We're already off to a roaring start, Jackpot. Yay! Welcome to the
roaring
show.
start.
Yeah, well, my podcast partner is in the upstate of South Carolina. He's the best damn Gamecock YouTuber on the planet. He is Mr. Carolina Jackpot, Cale Hall. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, gang?
It's good to have you here with me this evening, sir.
It's good to be here. It's great to be here. Excuse me.
I have to ask because Lisa brings it up. Cale looks sexy rolling in mud. Sir, I have not watched the video on this yet, but there is like a clip there where apparently it looked like you got into the mud, Cale.
Yeah, well, let's clarify. I mean, I look sexy no matter what I'm doing. I could be painting the house, pressure washing, sleeping, doing my everyday job, or rolling in the mud. But yeah, I went to go get in the lake today, and we've had some rain up here in the upstate. And unbeknownst to me, the sandbar that I usually step off of and get into the water had turned into a mud bar.
A mud bar.
Yeah, so I kind of sunk into that and fell forward.
So wait a minute. So who's filming this? Is this Miss Jackpot doing the filming, or is this?
Yeah,
Jackpot?
She was just filming me jumping into the water. It was kind of like a home movies type thing.
Oh, okay.
Like we used to do. Yeah, she was just filming me getting in the water, getting in the lake for the first time this year. I haven't been to the lake this year. Been to the beach, haven't been to the lake, and we're just putting that in our video photo album, I guess. And there was a bit of a snafu with me.
Well, so go to the Carolina Jackpot channel, of course, if you're watching there now. If you're watching on Facebook or on Twitter, at my Twitter handle, that Rob Sounds Good, subscribe to the damn channel, please. The Carolina Jackpot YouTube channel. Please do that. And go and find Jackpot. Basically, they're calling it, Captain Trips is calling it mud butt. Is that basically the gist of it, sir?
Yes.
Did you have to have someone pull you out? Did you have to get like some toe straps and someone pull you out, or were you able to muscle it up and get out of there?
No, I was able to get out on my own.
I'm asking as a journalist, sir, because I want to make sure that I cover this correctly, and I do not want to piss on the good name of Carolina Jackpot that he couldn't get out of the mud by himself. I just want to make sure everybody knows what happened.
No. I was able to get out of there on my own, unscathed.
Very good. Lisa says this is. She says she listened to the theme show for the Rob and Cale Show, which is good old Marvin C., South Carolina's own Candy Liquor, while she was watching Jackpot in the mud. Lisa, I got nothing for you, dear. Jackpot.
That's very interesting.
That's very interesting.
That's very
I don't want to get into that. Look, we get to the folks quickly here. The link is in the description. I've also put it in the chat room. Rob has an SEC bias is already here.
Josh over in the comment section has already said something about finding a whale in the lake and now having to call a crane to pick you up. That's very disrespectful. So what we're going to do is we're going to put you in timeout and mute you for a few minutes, let you sit over in the corner and think about what you're going to say next, because we're not going to tolerate that over here on the show.
Yeah.
People love to talk big on the phone.
The only people that we bash here are the Tennessee folks who said stupid shit today. I sent it to Jackpot this morning, and the response was clowns. It's pretty much what it boils down to. But look, before we even thank our sponsor, Rob has an SEC bias is already here. What do you got for the show, sir?
I had to get in early before we heard that absolute just pile of nonsense that y'all force Cale to read every day.
Cale is we got to give Cale credit for being a good sport with that.
Yeah, you weren't. You damn sure weren't. You took the piss straight out of mine.
But in fairness, when Peg and Megan paid a full show sponsorship for it, I read his with gusto.
Well, didn't y'all drop it down to $10 anyways, which is what I paid?
I don't remember.
I think so for the charity.
I don't remember.
Well, regardless.
Go
ahead.
SEC bias. He's talking in circles.
Yeah, and he knows, and I know.
Yeah, he's from Clemson, so he's talking in crop circles.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
or trailer park circles.
Or dick pic circles.
Yeah.
But none of that, we're gonna have fun with that. Lord.
Hey, we know who he was sending them to. Maybe an estranged brother we all know and love.
Oh yeah, you absolutely.
Can we
got those things in his inbox in 5 minutes? His fist was full of goo.
Can we be factual here for a minute? What exactly do we know that is crystal clear set in rock? A linebacker for Clemson that was a 4-star prospect was kicked out of the program, is no longer there. There's allegations online that apparently he was taking pictures of other dudes' junk in the locker room, which is just ridiculous.
And sending them out without permission.
Yeah. I mean, that's just weird at the end of the day. It's just freaking weird.
Who are you sending them to, number one?
Well, who wants that?
Well, you know what the wife said when I said that to her? The first thing that she said was, it would be weird if he had like an OnlyFans page. That's where he was putting it.
That would be weird.
Oh, God.
Maybe he's like taking pictures of like giant junk in the locker room and putting that out on the OnlyFans page and saying, hey, this is my junk. Maybe I don't know what he's doing.
Well, Rob, I would believe that, but
program.
I would believe that, but I think New Spring is taking good care of him. He probably doesn't need that extra cash flow from OnlyFans.
Well, and only a Gamecock fan on a Sunday, we're supposed to be worshiping Jesus, wants to bash a church that gives money to South Carolina and Clemson. When Gamecock fans say that, I laugh hysterically. You think that a church is giving money to a school?
Well, not anymore.
Athletic programs. That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. That would be like me saying Carolina Jackpot wants to have, I don't know, Joe Morrison come back from the dead. We're going to dig him up and we're going to make him cut freaking Utz potato chips ads like he's at Weekend at Bernie's. That's how far-fetched the New Spring stuff is. I mean, it's ridiculous.
You know, it'd be cool.
Something better.
Bringing him back to cruise up in that limousine.
Yeah.
In Charleston. It's got to be a Jennings limousine. And he comes out with a bag of Utz French onion wavy potato chips.
It got to be freaking Utz.
Got to be Utz. And it's got to be a Jennings limousine.
You know what? If we're going to dig him up and we're going to have Weekend at Bernie's, Weekend at Jackpots, we might as well get this guy and have him sporting the front will be the Utz potato chips, and then on his back we'll have a Rob and Kale Show logo. Why not?
Well, I had two things to call in. I was actually driving through that absolute just dump and cesspool.
Well,
and you know, right?
Spend more time in Clemson than most Clemson fans do because you guys want to be Clemson fans. No one wants to be a South Carolina fan. No one gets up in the morning and claps their hands and says, "You know what? I want to represent a university that has just a century of failure in football. Just barely above 500. That's what I want to do." What the hell is that?
What's it look like?
I can't see that thing. What is that? What is that, Jackpot?
That's the Clemson ring. And I'm still a Gamecock fan. So don't even talk to me about nobody wants to be a Clemson. You
went to Clemson, graduated from Clemson, and the education was good enough for you there. But no, I'm not going to be. I have to be a South Carolina fan. Did you get hit in the head with something? What is wrong with you, sir?
I'm loyal to the soil. But let me get back into what I was saying.
Okay.
Erected right into the entrance is a new South Carolina billboard that you can see right when you drive in to the college. It's actually kind of funny. #1 freshman experience in the nation. I think it reads. I don't know. I just saw it and thought it was funny. But the other thing I wanted to get into is Shane Beamer killed SEC Media Day. You know, Lisa, did I ask for your opinion? How about you call in? Put Lisa in next
No.
and let her say it.
No, we didn't.
Put Lisa
Rude too.
in next to me and let her say it to my
Rude.
face.
Why are so many rude people over here tonight? What's wrong?
Why is it that you want to argue with a lady that is a grandma? You want to argue with
She's
a
being
grandma?
disrespectful.
No, she's a grandma. She's had time on this planet that she can tell you, hey, I think you're delusional. We respect our elders here, sir.
Well, you know what?
Yeah,
You know
go past that. So in this whole call, you've disrespected Jesus. You've disrespected the university up at Clemson. And now you're disrespecting old people. You're just all over the place, sir.
When did I disrespect Jesus?
When you were talking about the church and everything else. Church is the house of God, right?
Well, especially.
Yeah, it is.
But back to what I was saying before Lisa so rudely interrupted me. Lisa, get on your rotary phone and call up then, all right?
Be nice to grandma, sir. Not nice. All right, go ahead.
But listen, let me finish my thought. Damn it. All right, Shane Beamer, talk about a SEC Media Day. I thought he killed it. I thought he went up with class, answered some tough questions. There's a lot more Oklahoma questions than I was kind of expecting. And, Rattler didn't really get any Oklahoma questions, which is really surprising. But, I just thought everyone they brought, I just had really solid interviews. I'm excited for the season. Do y'all have any thoughts on what y'all saw?
Did you happen to catch? It was on it was on Twitter where I saw it. Spencer Rattler getting interviewed by one of the SEC podcasters. Yeah. Did you happen to see that?
Oh, repeat that. Sorry.
Well, one of the SEC, these guys, his name is Mike. They do an SEC podcast, and they rank the quarterbacks. Their quarterbacks, and they put him at number 9. And they interviewed him, and he asked him. He's like, "Well, I guess we got to talk about why I put you 9th. I guess I kind of disrespected you." And I just wonder if you saw that. That was
I did see that. I actually like how he answered. I don't know if you caught the answer. He didn't really, he kind of made it seem like it was disrespecting the entire quarterback room.
But he didn't give him shit. He basically just said, whatever. He handled it the way that he should have handled it. Yeah. Basically, screw you. I'm the University of South Carolina quarterback. You're sitting here asking me questions and rating me. You couldn't throw a football from here to the door. Yeah, but he was polite about it.
Well, I think that just shows, like the level of maturity he's going into the senior season with. It's definitely a lot higher than I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was impressed with the way he was dressed, the way he talked. I'm like, damn, this guy could be president one day,
Yeah, he's really well spoken, and he answered, even when you can tell he's like shutting off a question, he does it and just the most humble way possible. I saw that a couple times at SEC Media Day where he got asked just like a asinine question, and he basically in a roundabout way said, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah, he's very polished. We'll give him that.
And they got to do speaker training or something, media training.
I got to remember. I don't think he made SEC as one of the top picks for the SEC, which was he didn't make the All SEC team, which was ridiculous when you think about it.
And I think our entire quarterback room is just being slept on entirely. You look at how it stacks up; it's better than, I'd say, 80% of the schools around the nation. We got 5 4-stars in our quarterback room.
Is Jaden Daniels. Second team quarterback is KJ Jefferson, and your third team quarterback is Joe Milton from Tennessee.
Didn't KJ Jefferson get injured halfway through the fucking season?
Well,
yeah.
How the hell is he first?
Milton hasn't even been the starter. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what are you doing? So they're going to put the guy at third team, which means that there was a high contingent of Tennessee media that was there that was voting to get him into the mix. But if you watched football last year, He finished third in the conference in yards, and he's the reason South Carolina won their last 2 games of the season and had a shot to beat Notre Dame.
Well, he finished third in yards, not to mention he was, I think, under Satterfield, we were we had the most passes at or behind the line of scrimmage of any school in the country.
Yeah.
So for him to be able to do that, I mean, he's kind of working in the face of the playbook. I think
Did you catch where Rattler pretty much came out and said that Marcus Satterfield wasn't calling plays after the Florida game?
No, I didn't see that. Where was that at?
Well, he kind of came out and said it, that the scheme was changed. Josh Pate outlined it. I didn't actually see that part when he said that, but
I wouldn't believe it. I think anybody, and Rob, I think you can attest to this. Anybody who's watched Carolina football throughout the season, there's a noticeable change in just the offensive play calling as a whole.
Well, see, that's why BBD's over there says if you watched football last year, you would have noticed Joe Milton beating Clemson. Sir, we've been over this. Okay?
Rob, bowl games don't count, Sanders.
They don't matter. In reality, they really don't matter. You don't have your full team that's there for anybody unless it's the college football playoff. Now, I know that
however, if the Gamecocks had beat Notre Dame, it would have been a big bowl win.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, because you're winning over a blue blood program like Notre Dame.
You would have won over a blue blood program too if y'all had won.
Who?
No, they just lost that stat.
They'll go winless in conference within 5 years. They're not a blue blood program. They haven't done shit.
Well, it's not about what you've done recently. It's not what you've done for me lately. They're winning. They're really good. Really, really good.
Well, under that logic, then we'll just talk about how Penn's great because they have national titles and all that.
Who?
Do that. Penn has more national titles.
Let's not be okay, Uncle Lou.
I'm just saying.
That's what Uncle Lou does. Said Harvard won a national championship in 1904, sir.
No, I'm defending your quarterback, and you're coming at me with this. Rattler's
I'm not coming at you with anything, but bowl games do matter.
Bowl games matter to people that want to go and watch their team play a game that doesn't matter. If they matter to you, that's great.
They matter for young players, getting experience, getting another 14 practices.
If we're being real, there were a lot of Clemson fans at that bowl game, too.
Who won the Orange Bowl 5 years ago? No one knows. Don't know. Who won the Orange Bowl 5 years ago?
Florida.
No. Shut up.
They did. They beat Michigan.
In the Orange Bowl?
You dolt. Yes, they did.
Boom. Don't test this man.
ACC game, sir. The Orange Bowl is an ACC champion, so nice try.
Okay, that was the Peach Bowl. My bad.
Yeah. Well, you don't know the difference between an orange and a peach. You're going to argue with me about bowls? Why is it that I defend your quarterback?
They did beat Michigan in the bowl game. It just wasn't that one.
Look.
Well, you go fuck yourself.
We've had this debate before.
Rob, listen.
BBD is exactly right. They matter when you win them.
Yeah. Right. Well, bowl games definitely matter less than they used to. I mean, I think back just in 2007, the Birmingham Bowl, I feel like, then it was still a pretty big deal to be able to just go to a bowl game. And then somewhere around, I guess 2014, it all changed. I think it was the playoffs.
Let's read Chris's comment here. Spencer Rattler led the conference in picks, but Rob's mad about what? Let's see here. Oh, what's Rob mad about? Rob's mad people aren't meat riding him. First of all, I don't care if Spencer Rattler wins a game or not, but the quarterback that you have was watching on the bench. He wasn't even in the freaking field last year. You had to go and pick up a guy off of Virginia Tech's woodpile, and he was better than Milton is.
Exactly.
Vic Tube's got says Florida beat Virginia in that Orange Bowl. That's right. I remember that. Virginia, another ACC team.
Yeah. The reality is that what it comes down to is the Tennessee people are going to be over here and they're going to tell you Joe Milton is the second coming of Christ. They sound like Georgia fans a couple of years ago that were all up on JT Daniels and wanted JT Daniels to play. They almost sound like that. And in the end, I think it's going to be funny if Rattler goes out there and has a better season than of course, Milton does.
Yeah, when Joe Milton was up on that podium at first when he was there, I looked at him. I said, "What the hell has he got on his head?" It looked like a couple of dead corn shucks or something up on the top of his head. And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "He's dyed his dreadlocks blonde, and he's put them up in a man bun."
Captain trips off the top rope. Tennessee needs a gimmick defense. Good point, sir. Good point.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, like, do we really think fucking Joe Milton anywhere outside of Tennessee is going to put up good numbers if we're honest with ourselves? Like,
if he were great as everybody says he is, he would have never left Michigan.
Yeah, well, he never would have got.
He shredded Vanderbilt last year.
He would have never left Michigan if he was the best quarterback ever, right?
Yeah, well, that, and he wouldn't have gotten benched.
Yeah, there's that too.
But
now, can't use that because then they'll say, "Well, Rattler wouldn't have got benched at Oklahoma."
Well, there's a difference because it's Caleb fucking Williams versus Hendon Hooker.
Yeah,
well. R with a good comment over in the comment section. He says the West Virginia and Clemson bowl game was so meaningless that Dabo fired his defensive coordinator.
Yeah, I remember that Orange Bowl, Rob. What about you?
I love that. That was great.
Look, and that bowl game mattered. I'm talking about pre-college football playoff. The only thing matters is the college football playoffs.
Hey, when do they start those home playoff games? Is that this year or next year?
Listen to Rob shift the narrative to fit the argument for himself.
Well,
same thing that I've said forever, Jackpot.
You have
maybe just now you're listening.
Have him hauled that bowls don't matter.
They don't. If you're not in the playoffs,
you haven't him hauled that bowls no longer matter.
Rob,
anymore.
Ask yourself this: if you're being completely honest, had Clemson won that game, would you have talked shit to the Tennessee fans?
No, because I think if Jackpot remembers, I sent him a message and said, "I don't think we're going to win this game, but if we do, I'm not going to acknowledge those two." Can
you confirm, Kale?
What's that?
Do you remember? I think I told you right before the game started. I don't think we're going to win because we have a bunch of our guys that are out. But if we do win, I'm not going to acknowledge those hillbillies. I think I sent you a text with that.
I don't remember. I'm not going to say you did or didn't.
Well, that's how I feel about this.
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, Rob.
And once again, if you don't believe me, I don't care.
But I do think in an angry Billy Cole or Chris from Georgia call, I think you would have slipped it in at one point.
No, I don't.
Tensions were high.
No, I don't care. I don't care about when you've been to the college football playoffs as many times as Clemson has, and the only team that's been more is Alabama. When you don't go, then the games don't matter to you.
Well, listen, the majority of the teams you're playing, South Carolina has more ACC titles than them, and we haven't been in the conference since the 70s.
Well, Tulane has more SEC titles than you do too, and they don't play there either. Do you want to go down that road?
Well, I'm just saying.
Come on, man. Come up with something better.
I think it's pretty fair.
Why are you making fun of Tulane? They won.
Tulane had a good year last year.
They won their New Year's Six game. You didn't.
Yeah, Tulane had a good year last year. The Green Wave.
Yeah, they won their.
Didn't they get heavily sanctioned at some point?
Rob's team didn't win their New Year's Six.
I don't know about the sanctions.
I think they had some kind of sanction that ruined their program, kind of like a SMU treatment.
Who did?
Be wrong on that.
Who?
Tulane.
That was their basketball program.
Oh, it was basketball.
Yeah.
Point shaving. They didn't have a team for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
They were in the old Metro Conference, and they were. Their players were taking a dive, man.
Were they betting?
They weren't betting. The bookies or whatever, I guess, were paying them to either take dives or lose by whatever. Or yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm excited for this year, but I think next year is going to be kind of the standout year. I think Dontavius Braswell is going to be a key contributor to that, which nobody even mentions his name.
I think Braswell is going to be this year's Quinshawn Junkins.
Yeah, I mean he looks really good. He's got blazing speed. Nicholas Carter will have a little time to develop, but I think just the Lenore Sellers Braswell combo is going to open up the playbook a lot more than we can with Rattler, obviously.
Sure.
I think Lenore Sellers might figure into the game plan a little bit too.
Well, and I know it was a spring game, but man, he looked freaking good.
Yeah,
if you watched it, Kale, but Lenoris was slinging that thing.
he was. The most impressive thing that I saw him do was not a throw or anything. Was the play where
in business management, Tim, HR.
they fumbled the ball. He fumbled the snap, and it bounced off the turf, and he one-handed that ball off the turf, and then he threw a sidearm pass against the grain. He damn near completed it.
That was the one to the sideline where he had like the toe tap catch?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think he's going to be special. I'm surprised really nobody apart from Syracuse was recruiting him. I mean, I don't know how players like that really fly under the radar whenever you can see in the spring game he immediately has what it takes to, play power.
Well, from what I understand, he wasn't even the starter on his high school team last year when the season started.
Oh, really?
He's a late bloomer. There you go.
Yeah. Everybody wants to know what lake I was at. I was at Lake Hartwell on the South Carolina Georgia border. I was actually in Georgia at a state park.
Which one?
Tougaloo State Park.
I think I drove by that. Is that over there by Columbia, Georgia?
It's near Livonia, Georgia.
I had to go through Columbia, Georgia not too long ago. I didn't even realize that was a place. But they had a beautiful park out on the lake.
There's a town in Georgia in between Elberton and Hartwell called Bowman, Georgia. And when you go to, there's a sign when you come into Bowman, Georgia, it says, "Welcome to Bowman, Georgia." It says, "Home of Miko Hardman Jr." Whatever round draft pick of whoever, former Georgia Bulldog.
I mean, there's got to be something better to put up a freaking sign on than him.
I know. They're all on their nuts up that way anyway.
Well,
I was in the I went to Sam's in Anderson today.
Yeah.
Because we're on the way home. And I didn't want to stop at the one up here in Greenville on Woodruff Road. If you know anything about Woodruff Road.
I know. Believe me.
You need to avoid it at all costs. So we went to the one in Anderson. We needed some toilet paper and some fruit. And I looked. They had Clemson gear. Obviously, they're going to have Clemson gear. But other than that, they had Georgia gear down the other side. And there was no Gamecock gear in that place. None. Well, I told her, I said, "Leave the cart. We're leaving."
That's a smart move. That's territory you don't want to be in. Clemson and Georgia. There's probably more people than teeth in that store, if we're being honest.
Well, thank you for joining us, sir. We're going to move on. But thank
Y'all take it easy.
Jerry, thank you, sir. Jerry Wells said Elberton, well, they blew up the guy. Did they blow him up? I thought they just did something to damage him. Do you know what those are, Rob?
What are you talking about?
The guide stones in Elberton, Georgia?
No.
Okay. Well, Elberton, Georgia is the granite capital of the world. There are some big stones down there on the edge of town. They're just like out on the edge of a field, and they're just these pillars, and they're probably like 30 or 40 feet high, and then they have a top to them, and they're just held up there by gravity, and they have like some like Hebrew, or I think it's Hebrew, just chiseled into them. It's really weird. But apparently someone damaged them, and they're real controversial too.
Okay. Well, hey, let's head back out. We got to talk about our sponsors in a moment, but Bluegrass Sports Media joins us now. What do you got for the show, buddy?
How's it going, guys?
Hello.
First question, Kel. Who was calling the plays then? If it wasn't, what's his name? The guy from Nebraska now.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, there's rumors it may have been Coach Stepp.
It may have been Coach Stepp. It may have been Freddie Kitchens.
So why the coordinator? Why'd you go hire this Fred Flintstone looking motherfucker?
Fred Flintstone looking motherfucker.
I will not have you. I will not sit here and let you well, I'll let you bash the good damn.
His name is Rudy Bob, first of all.
Yeah. And Rudy Bob does not look like Fred Flintstone, sir. I apologize.
Well, all I know is Shane Beamer wants to know if Gene did his research or not.
What are you talking about?
What the hell is he talking about?
What are you talking, Bluegrass? What are you talking about, sir?
You don't remember the press conference? Did you do your research, Gene? If you did, you would know.
You sound real salty today. You got some kind of problem?
Yeah. What is your problem today, sir?
Just my problem is this. It's just that you hire I wasn't calling the plays, but you hire a new offensive coordinator that wasn't calling the coordinators in the history of the NFL, and you somehow think your season is going to be better.
Who said the season's going to be better?
Who said that?
Has anybody on this program said anything about South Carolina's season being better? Because look, if South Carolina has a season this year where they beat Tennessee and Clemson, and they're able to go through the rest of their SEC schedule and have the same record, Gamecock fans will be happier than a slopped pig, man. If I told you, Jackpot, you're going to beat Clemson and Tennessee this year, you'd be like, what? That's a hell of a season. So I mean, what are you trying to bring to the show, man? I'm not following here.
I just don't get how Jackpot's so high Rattler and thinks he's one of the best returning quarterbacks in the SEC.
Did you see what he did the last 3 games of the season? I mean,
okay, I know we've heard this argument a million times, but did you see what he did the first 9?
What did he do the first 9? He played. Okay, he had 6 games. All right, Georgia State didn't play great. South Carolina State 150-10 played pretty great. Kentucky game played pretty dang good. Texas A&M game we won, played pretty dang good. Charlotte, he played pretty dang good. I mean, everybody wants to say, well, the first 10 game he did it. Well, I mean, he played pretty good in 6 of those.
Yeah, but
they won.
In the first 9 games, he's about a 5 in QBR. So
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what that is, but they won the games.
They changed the scheme, and he was a different quarterback.
Oh my God.
The offensive coordinator obviously didn't know what the hell to do with him, and it shows. Why the hell am I defending your quarterback, Jackpot? And we're a month out from the season.
I don't know. I like it, though. We'll take all of it we can.
Jesus. Ridiculous.
How in your mind is Leary not ahead of him?
Because Leary's dealing with having a
Did
torn.
you see Leary play against East Carolina last year?
Hey, did you see Leary throw 35 touchdowns and like 3 picks the year before?
No, because nobody watches their damn games.
He has a torn pec, sir. No one knows how you're going to bounce back from a torn pec. Holy shit. Well, I mean, God.
You also, we bitch and we besmirch the ACC schedule a little bit on here. You also have to take into account the competition he played against Bluegrass. Just saying, not to shit on Clemson, but I mean, look at the rest of the conference. He wasn't exactly playing a murderer's row.
But to be fair, against Clemson, he played one of his best games, and that's one of the best teams in the country.
Not in 2021, it wasn't.
That's fair. But
not at that point. They had just come off. They almost lost to Georgia Tech the week before. Georgia Tech. They almost lost to them.
He threw the ball 47 times against Clemson. I'm trying to give you the exact number here. I'm looking it up here. But they lost. They put 20 points on the board. He threw the ball 28 times for 245. And then he threw the ball 47 times, completed 28 of them for 245 yards. and threw a pick.
Was that in
It-
2021?
That's last season against Clemson.
I mean, he blew donkey nuts last year. He made me mad.
Well, let's look at Florida State last season: 10 of 21, 130 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick.
That's great.
I mean, hey, that's the greatest thing ever.
Oh,
Let's look at
at
Texas Tech. 15 for 23, 121 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions.
He only threw for 100 and something yards against who?
Texas Tech.
Against Texas Tech.
Yeah, East Carolina, 17 for 33, 211 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. He barely completed 50% of his passes.
Oh, Rob, by the way, I something popped up on my feed, one of the shorts, and it just said East Carolina's defense, and I just clicked on it, and it was last year's East Carolina NC State game, and it was a goal line stand by East Carolina. They stood up that number 0 for NC State, that little twerp that went to Kentucky that's going to play running back, the one with a name that nobody can pronounce.
Well,
They
to be fair,
drove him back like
backup running
10
back.
yards and dumped this fool on his ass. ECU.
That's another thing.
By the Pirates.
That's another thing, Jackpot. How does it feel that our backup running back wouldn't even pick your school?
I mean, what do I care? He went. Apparently, he wanted to go play with Devin Leary. Maybe he takes pictures of his junk. I don't know.
Yes, sir, I mean, they go to your school because they can drink tequila and get arrested. That's part of the thing.
Well, as long as it's March 2,
Sometimes players recruit other players.
Mm.
That has to be the only thing I can figure out with that one.
So just a minute, Jackpot. It's better to be the second running back at Kentucky than the man at South Carolina.
Who said he would have been the man at South Carolina? He couldn't even penetrate the East Carolina defensive front. I mean, why would we want him, really? I mean, he would have probably been a backup player, too.
So you're going to say you'd rather play a quarterback that can never find his way on the field. He has to do – and then a Division II running back him.
I mean, his numbers are pretty good in Division II.
Most Kentucky fans don't know that Kentucky has a football team, sir. They're all just standing out there hoping to have something to watch so they can go watch John Calipari fail again. At least in South Carolina, they give a shit about football. No one cares at Kentucky. He doesn't care enough to even respond to that. So,
yeah, let's move on.
Move on. I mean, look, I'm not hanging up on him. It's just he's not there. Just most Kentucky fans would tell you they'd much rather have a basketball championship than to care about football. It's the way it is. Ask the average Kentucky team there, Kentucky fan. You have some that care about the football team, but the majority of them, they'd rather go to the Final Four than have a great football team.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hunter says, does Rob drive for Swan? No, this is a Swan golf hat, sir. Swan golf hat. Swanee golf hat. Yeah. Thank you, dear. All right. Anyway, Jackpot, we have to put a couple things out there. First of all, let's thank our sponsors, Calloway's Bar and Grill. You can get in the Calloway's Pick'em Challenge. The link is in the bio. Get in it. Get in it now. Get your spot. We're hoping to have over a huge jackpot. I had a huge jackpot last year. It's $20 for the entire season, and we'll pick 10 games a week and the Kale Hall shitter, and it's not that far off, Jackpot. You got to get in now, right?
That's it. And I want to put something out there too. I was in the midst of doing a video on this today, and then I already did yesterday, and I didn't publish it. It didn't come out the way I wanted it to, the way I wanted to word it. But I've got a coupon this year. Carolina Jackpot's giving you a coupon, 25% off to get into the contest for verified college football YouTubers. You got to be a verified college football YouTuber. You're getting in that contest for $15. I'm going to boot the other $5, take care of it for you, because you guys, you know your stuff. So I want you to come in and put your money where your mouth is. It's only going to take a few minutes of your time every week. We need to get some BVD action in there. I want to get some Pigskin Pete action. I want to get some Uncle Lou action. Maybe some Sea Dog action. I know Twisted Rooster will get in. $15 for verified college football YouTubers. You have to put the name of your channel in when you send me your money so I can go check it out. And I will go check it out. And if you bullshit me, I'll request another $5 from you. And if I don't get it, we're just going to kick you on out and you just won't participate. But I think that's a great deal. I think it's a nice olive branch to extend to our friends in the college football YouTube community to let you in for a reduced rate. And you get to be part of the thing in Carolina Jackpot. The giving soul that I am.
It's Christmas in July. I mean,
exactly.
Is helping out the YouTubers. Of course, BVD is a verified college.
You are a verified college football YouTuber.
Yeah. Of course.
So you got to get on there. And,
no one has to vouch for BVD. Are you out of your mind? Yeah, BVD.
So if we got 100 college football YouTubers in there, that'd be $500 that I'm booting out. But hey, or that I'm footing the bill on. But hey, could you imagine how large our pot would be to go to the winner?
The link is in the description, sir. Just go and check out the link. It's in the description for the Calloway's Pick'em Challenge.
I'd love to see us give away over $3,000 this year. That would be amazing.
It's probably going to happen. And I got to put this out there, too. We are doing a live show the Friday after Thanksgiving. That will be at Calloway's. And I haven't told you this yet, Jackpot, but I have a special courier that is on its way from the Bluegrass State with our friend Big Barney Ross, who is sending us a batch of his finest bourbon. 3 great bottles of bourbon that we are going to auction off at the Calloway's live show to benefit Pace Academy, which they do lots of things to help young folks overcome obstacles and get a good education. So that's basically what we do. And Big Barney Ross is sending it by courier, sending us some of his finest bourbon. And we're going to auction that off at the live show. So that's going to be really, really great. And we appreciate Calloway's for sponsoring the show.
Mike Bridges says Mrs. Jackpot heard Jackpot say he was footing the bill and she came out. You're correct on that. She keeps a tight hold on that checkbook, sir. Tight.
Exactly.
I had to beg for some ramen noodles today, but I got them finally.
Lisa asked, will Comrade be there? Look, we sent a message to Comrade about it, and I can read Comrade's response. I've asked, are you coming to the live show? And he says, just to fight people. So apparently, Comrade is going to fight people at the live show. That's what he said to me. I don't know.
Is he talking about verbally or physically?
Oh, Comrade can't fight anybody physically. Are you out of your mind? That's not happening. But no, Comrade may make an appearance. I hope that he does. We shall see. Also, we have Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking and Transport. Fireside Chats with Uncle Jackpot. Jackpot, read away.
All right. Let's see what kind of bullshit we got this evening over here. It sucks to be a Gamecock. My team was picked third at SEC Media Days in the East. We think that is the standard. We are a gong show. It sucks to be a Gamecock. Go Tigers.
That message courtesy of Dennis Wilson, DNC Trucking.
Yeah, I think that is what Bluegrass Sports Media is a little bit salty about. I think that's what put a burr in his saddle at South Carolina was picked to finish ahead of Kentucky by the media. And I mean, granted, you may have some homers who throw some picks in there at members of the media, but I mean that's your entire pool there. So I mean, it should come out to be, fairly logical if you put that in the mix.
But when I get messages from, I don't know, we won't out the person who sent me this message, but the message was they'll let just about anybody in here, right? With a clip from someone that probably shouldn't be there at SEC Media Days.
Yeah.
Who knows? I from what I heard, the Tennessee contingent was down there showing out. They're all jacked up. They didn't get all they got's probation, so they think they can go to media days and raise hell. So congrats to them. Lots of Tennessee folk there, and I think that's why there's certain players like with Milton at third team. I think that's part of that.
Their mouths might be writing a check their ass can't cash.
Billy says Rob got in at ACC media days. Sir, I'm credentialed by the SEC and the ACC. Nice try though.
It was on the radio.
Yeah, I mean, nice try. I get. If I want to go to SEC media days, I can. If I want to go to ACC kickoff, I can. Sorry. BVD says he sent his money in. There you go.
Awesome.
All right, we'll have to see how he does. Josh says Kentucky was picked to finish second last year. The media picks really don't matter that much. You, sir, are correct, because there is a lot of folks that are that go to media days that they're going to pick Alabama, LSU, Georgia. Not that they don't need to be picked, but they'll overlook certain teams. We've talked about Mizzou on the program, how they constantly get overlooked.
Yep.
I mean, this happens, Jackpot.
Well, I'm going to tell you, they picked them to finish sixth, I think.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not correct, or if I'm not mistaken, they're picked to finish sixth. I'm kind of bullish on Mizzou this year. I really am, and you know how that that's one of my teams that I will pull for them when they're not playing the Gamecocks, but. This is not me being a homer. They return a nucleus of that defense. That offense has got to be better. We're having a bad storm up here.
Yeah,
I've got a bad echo too.
Yeah, let's add Go Dogs to the mix here, Jackpot.
Hey, what's
the program? Hey, what you got for the program?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
What's up?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask y'all. Do y'all think Georgia's gonna three-peat this year?
I mean, we'll have our full picks coming up, but I think that the only thing that's going to stop Georgia is Georgia themselves. They've got talent on top of talent. I think that can stop them, and I think Mike Bobo could screw them over too. So
yeah,
they've got everything they need.
Yeah, I like our chances of three-peat, although it hasn't been done since like the 1930s. So, I mean,
it's hard to do that, but Georgia has the team that could do it. They really could.
I definitely think we do. I don't.
I mean, you have to bring in you got a new quarterback that's going to be starting, new offensive coordinator, but when you have that much 5-star talent all the way around you, you can mask and camouflage some of those things.
Yeah, I mean, we still have the same talent. We've had the last 2 years. Last 2 years. Still have Kirby Smart. I mean, I think we'll run. I think we'll beat everyone in the regular season, and I think we do it. I think we three-peat because we just got the best team again. So and Ohio State. They got questions at quarterback, and they were the team that almost beat us last year. So I mean,
Yeah.
I think LSU's got a good shot, but I mean, even then, they're still not. I don't think they're equal with us. So I mean, we'll see, but
it wouldn't surprise me if we had an LSU Georgia repeat in the SEC championship game, or Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a team in the East that can go toe to toe with Georgia and win. Although when you really stop and think about it, no one thought that South Carolina was going to win last year against Tennessee. I mean, you have to go out there and actually play. I think the game with South Carolina might be more interesting if it were at South Carolina, but who knows, man? I mean, I bank on what we know with Georgia. They've got a lot of talent. There are questions, though, on the offensive side of the ball.
Rob, do you not think Auburn has a chance to make it to Atlanta to the SEC championship game this year?
Yeah, if they buy some tickets now, that way they can get there. They can have good seats. Yeah, of course Auburn can go. You get in early now, you can buy your seats. They may be sitting up in the nosebleeds, but they can get themselves some good tickets to watch LSU or Alabama in the SEC championship game. Of course,
Yeah,
absolutely.
go ahead and do that. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't think it's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna be a good game, but hey, you might as well go.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well,
Anything else, sir?
no, that's all I have for tonight. Thank y'all, and have a good night.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
When you asked me about what we wanted to talk about tonight, we were, I told you about some locks for the over/under, so I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. All right. What do you got? You said that your SEC team that you think is going to beat the law over under. Which one?
Or
Do you?
well, this is no, these are just my locks as far as the over/under. Over in the ACC, you got Florida State. They got them at 9.5 wins. I like the under on that. I'm telling you, I think that's a lot. They're not beating LSU. I do not think they're beating Clemson in week 4. Week 4. And I think they'll lose another game to the schedule, at least one more game there somewhere at some point during the season. I'm not sold on them. I'm really not. They talk returning production, yada, yada, yada. I mean, this team, they barely got by a terrible Florida team last year. And, yes, I know Gamecocks had a rough one there. But, I mean, if we're talking about Florida State being a conference champion playoff contender, I mean, I just don't see it. And, I mean, the way they played against Clemson last year, I'm not impressed with them. Just really not.
All right. Well, my pick for the ACC is the team that should go over is a Wake Forest. Every year they've got Wake Forest at 5-6 wins. This year they've got them at 5.5. Dave Clawson's a hell of a coach, and he'll get 6 wins out of whoever. And I think that when you step back and look at it, I don't think their schedule is that brutal this year. I'm checking it out right now, but I looked at it before.
I think they missed UNC this year.
Mm-hmm. But they have their non-conference schedule. I don't think is that brutal this year. I'm checking it to make sure here. But let's see. They do have Clemson, which Clemson has kind of owned them here recently. But the rest of their schedule it's not anything that you're going to look at and be like, okay, this is not a schedule where they're not going to make the playoffs. I know that, man, come on. Thing is being slower than all get out tonight. So their schedule, they start with Elon, then they play Vanderbilt, Old Dominion, and then Georgia Tech as their 4, I guess, non-conference games of the season there.
Georgia Tech's a conference game in that, sir.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm thinking that. Anyway, Clemson after that, and then Virginia Tech, who I think is going to be a shit show. Pittsburgh, Florida State. Then they've got Duke, NC State, Notre Dame, and Syracuse. I think that they win the first. They may start the season 4-0. And after that, I mean, they'll pick up 2 wins somewhere, I'm sure. I think that's my over pick for the ACC. Do you have one for the SEC, Jackpot?
Hold on just a second here. I'm trying to
Here, I'll go with mine.
Aesthetically pleasing for the audience.
Well, I'll go with mine while Jackpot gets himself squared away there. When I look at the SEC, people talk about Vanderbilt at 3.5. That's the easiest way to go there. Yeah, but I mean, if we're taking a team other than Vanderbilt, you've got to look at South Carolina at 6.5. I think South Carolina wins 7 games, at least 7 games. So I'm going to take the Gamecocks there, and I kind of like Mizzou too at 6.5.
Yeah.
So, all right,
I'll tell you. Also, there's a number there that a lot of people are saying, go bet the mortgage on it. Go bet your vacation money on Vanderbilt over 3.5 wins. And I'm telling you, Not so fast, my friend. This team lost Ray Davis, their leading rusher, over 1,000-something yards last year. Huge cog in their offensive wheel. They don't really have anybody to replace them that's viable. And here's the thing. They won 2 SEC games last year, but the Florida game was given to them. Florida made a lot of mistakes in that, some turnovers, a block punt, I believe. Those things aren't always going to happen in your favor. And the other SEC teams know that, Vanderbilt's capable of winning a conference game now. I think when you play them, those teams are going to put the pedal to the metal just a little bit more than what they have been in the past. So I think they kind of regress a little bit. I'm saying this team goes 3-9. I think they beat Hawaii, Alabama, A&M, and I think they win at UNLV. I don't think they're beating Wake Forest, and I don't think they beat anybody in the conference. Some people are saying they're either going to beat Kentucky at home or Mizzou at home. Mizzou's defense is way too good for an untested Vanderbilt offense. They're not beating Kentucky. I think Kentucky's offense is going to be much improved and will probably put a beating on Vanderbilt, quite honestly. And then the rest of it's pretty tough. I mean, they're not beating Georgia, obviously. They're not beating Tennessee, obviously. They're not beating my Gamecocks. You're not coming to Williams-Brice and winning. And I'm not so delusional that I'll think that streak against them is going to last forever. But I do feel like when it does finally end, it'll end in Nashville, not in Columbia. So.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to do.
The UNLV game on the road, you laugh, but that's no given. UNLV is coached by a legitimate Power 5 coach in Barry Odom, who was most recently the DC at Arkansas. And I know our friends at the Mizzou weren't very high on Barry Odom, especially the last couple of years there. I think he was maybe kind of like the Midwestern version of Will Muschamp. Anyway, dude, they beat Vanderbilt the only time that they've ever played, which was in 2019. UNLV actually came to Nashville and won 34-10. So,
VicTube joins the show. What's up, buddy?
What's up,
Yeah, what's up,
dude?
guys? Yes, at the I was at the Slob softball game yesterday. Yeah, we had a real good time. Yeah, and Team Raj beat Team Fools 18-9. So, and yeah, I did see Jackpot's video about that Clemson player who was got kicked off the team. What was taking a picture of the player's junk. I just thought that was really sick and disturbing.
It is
yeah.
disturbing. I mean, I can't. I don't know. I can't wrap my head. I don't mean that literally, but I can't wrap my mind around what in the world some people just have going through theirs. It's insane.
Yeah. Any thoughts on this, Rob?
I've already said what I can say earlier. Not on the team anymore. I don't know what else you want. I don't get all that. So I mean,
okay.
What happened? So
I don't know how if kicking him off the team. Father's thing will probably if it'll just be dropped now, or if there'll be some legal repercussions. I don't know if you'll hear more of it. I mean, he could potentially face some criminal charges for that.
You could. And here's the other thing too. What if some player comes out and says, "Hey, that's my penis that this guy sent these pictures out to, and I don't appreciate it, and I want to press charges."
Yeah, I know.
You absolutely could do that. So yeah, I mean, that's something that realistically could happen. Hey, that's my wiener. I don't want it out there on that stuff. Yeah, that could happen.
Well, it's sexual harassment.
So so as a Georgia fan, I can't really say nothing because we had like a few years ago we had the Georgia football program. It was like this equipment manager that like had like a hidden camera in the shower. So yeah.
You can go across the country. It's not just Clemson fans or Clemson team or any other team. There's shitheads everywhere. We can goof one way or another, but in the end, there's shitheads everywhere. So
yeah.
And I'm not blowing off. I mean, he got kicked off the team. He can't go back in the locker room again. And hey, if someone wants to come with those charges, I think they should be heard. And whatever the legal precedent is for that, I'm not a.
I think those charges will stand firm, and I think they'll stand tall.
We move on. Vic, too.
Yeah,
What
and
else, sir?
yes, and since talking about SEC media days, so how about real quick? Let me give y'all what I think is going to be the order of finish for the East and the West.
Well,
so I got.
Are you talking about what you think the media is going to pick? Because they've already put that
No,
out. Vic.
I meant what. But yeah.
Oh, what your ballot would be? Got it.
Yes, I guess I'd have 1 Georgia, 2 Tennessee, and then South Carolina, and then Kentucky, then Florida, and then Mizzou, and then Vandy. And then over on the West, I would have LSU, and then Bama, and A&M, and then Arkansas, and then Auburn, and Mississippi State.
Why do you think that Florida would finish higher than Missouri? Just question.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I don't really know. It's just a feeling, you know. I mean.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Vic Tube has the Gamecocks finishing 3rd, Mizzou 6th. All right, and your connection's kind of poppy there, Vic Tube. So we're gonna move on. All right, you're kind of popping in.
All right. Yeah. Well, thanks
you.
for taking my call. Have a good night.
All right, let's get Harry.
Rat Dog over in the comment section says that gay people can play football too. Sure, they can. You remember Michael Sam?
Yeah,
he was a hell of a defensive lineman. What was you remember when he got drafted?
I was like
when he and his boyfriend were feeding each other cake. And
well, he led the conference in sacks.
I know.
I mean, it wasn't like when he stepped on the field. He led the conference in sacks, so I don't know.
Look behind my shoulder.
Yeah, that's buddy Ziggy.
Like a dingo. Watch out, he's gonna eat your baby.
Big Bonnie super chat says take the under on Boston College. Very
that's
good.
My dingo. Take my dingo.
All right, Harry Legg joins the program. What do you got, man?
Not a whole lot. How y'all tonight?
How are you, sir?
We're gonna make
it. Good evening, Nat.
Yeah, we'll make it. Recruiting is for the month of July been on fire across the country. The 5 stars and 4 stars dropping like flies. Bama got in there late.
Speak for yourself.
Well, Bama got in late to the party, and now they're on flip. Everybody's on flip alert because that's how they're going to be able to complete another stellar class. They're going to have to flip some of these top guys because Georgia's getting the number 16 guy tomorrow, and he ain't the last. So that's I'm super optimistic about the future. Super optimistic.
I appreciate the talk about recruiting, but for me, it's like, who do you get in December or on signing day? Because in July, none of that matters because these are 18-year-old kids and they can opt out at the drop of a hat, or someone could come to them from a program and be like, oh, wow, you really developed this year. And you have a $300,000 NIL deal over there. What if we got you $450?
True enough.
If I'm an 18-year-old kid and I can get $450 and go somewhere else, bye. Especially when think about that. That's like, for some kids, $450,000 is life-changing money for them. For a lot of these kids, so they can go and get that kind of money. That's why it's like all this stuff with. I posted something on the Facebook page. It's just July. It doesn't matter until they sign in November, and then after that or December, whenever it is, And then you got to worry about keeping them there and making sure they stay even once they sign and come on campus. I mean, it's a tough road right now as far as getting and keeping talent.
I believe that you're going to witness a paradigm shift in all of this, Rob. And we're seeing it at Georgia. And you're going to see it at many other programs, and you will see it at Clemson as well.
Oh, yeah.
Where the top the teams
program too. Clemson has a problem because Dabo Swinney refuses to use the transfer portal. So their talent that they're getting, it's all in recruiting. They're not implementing and supplementing it somewhere else, and eventually it's going to catch them.
Well, the paradigm shift that I'm talking about is kids who are geared just a little bit differently, where they see the long game as opposed to the instant game. And it would appear that Georgia's doing a pretty good job of identifying those kids that see who's getting drafted, because that's the paycheck that changes lives there. That initial signing bonus, that instantly changes lives if you go high. And hell, for like you say, 450, geez, that's a signing bonus down to what level? I'm not aware of how that works.
I can agree with you on that, but on the other end, only a slight percentage of players go to the NFL. But if I'm a right tackle and I'm good enough to go to a Power 5 school, and I'm getting $300,000 to go to Arizona, and I can get $450 to go to Arizona State, I'm gonna go to Arizona State.
Oh, no argument there. But all teams are not recruiting the same players. Some say they are. Some get listed when 247 puts their list out. Oh, here's his top 10 and all that crap. But in reality, the reality of it is that targeted kids have been so well screened now at the elite levels, elite campuses or programs rather, to such an extent that the miss ratio is rapidly declining. Although you're still seeing some movement, you're not going to be 100% at anything. But and Georgia's not going to be 100% at it, of course not. And Barry Alexander's a prime example, but he'd already poisoned the locker room because he was looking for the NIL and he wanted it now, just like what you said. So that's why he's at Southern Cal, and he's in a.
How could he poison a locker room that won the national title? He didn't poison shit. He was just a dickhead, and now he's going somewhere else. He didn't.
Well, when I say that, Rob.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I want to make sure that we're on the same page.
I want you to understand my.
Poison a locker room if you've won the national title.
Well, he didn't contribute to it very much. Number one. Number two, all he wanted to talk about was somebody's going to offer him more NIL money, and he wasn't going to work as hard as the rest of them. So instantly, the teammates turned on him. He saw his playing time limited greatly, and he was asked pretty much, "Go ahead and find a new home." And his daddy did, or agent, whatever he is, uncle. But they're, they got what they got. Good for them. I don't care. I don't care which one of them we get, which one of them we don't. Because
it's that way for a lot of players.
Well, he's never going to be a superstar at Southern Cal playing that position the way that he could have at Georgia.
No, he's not going to have the coaching. That's the bottom line.
He's not.
And people, the casual fans do not grasp the importance of that.
They don't play defense out there. They don't give a fuck, bro.
They're going to get took to school when they get up there in that big 1G. I guarantee. Because the lines of scrimmage up there are very similar to SEC's in many instances. And they play, if you don't have it, if you don't have the 300-pound guys, you are going to get pummeled. And, yeah, you might have some skill, one or two skill guys. Well, one or two skill guys might get hurt. Then what you got? Okay? Comes to depth. Not everybody has it. Some do, some don't. But
some of us suffer from lack of depth.
Lack of depth.
But I heard something interesting about Clemson, Rob.
What was that?
A was in a discussion last night with some industry people, and he's got you guys pegged as having the number one defensive line in college football. And I disputed that, but I thought that might give you some cause you to think just a little bit.
We can sit here and talk about all that, but in the end, I'm tired of certain players and certain players at Clemson think, oh my goodness, this guy's going to be great on the line. And that, I just go out there and fucking play. Do what LaVon Kirkland did at Clemson.
I tell you what,
he walked out on the field and he went and earned his spot playing for Coach Ford. Go out there and just knock somebody in the damn mouth. Do that and stop with this nonsense of, trying to show out for Instagram and everything else. If you want to make it to the NFL like the LaVon Kirklands and those guys, go out there and hit somebody. That's what's going to get you in the NFL, not how big your social following is. No one gives a shit. Can you go out there and hit somebody in the face? When you get to the college football playoff and you're matched up against a Georgia or an Alabama or whatever, can you win your matchup there? Can you make Nick Saban have to plan for what this guy's going to do to you? Can we run plays away from him because he's going to eat up that entire line of the side of the line of scrimmage? That's what you need to do. But then these people blow this hype up that these folks really, it's just at this point, go out there and make plays and we'll see what happens.
Now, if you'll remember last year, what it was one of the games, I think it may have been the Florida game. I was absolutely losing it during that game and just yelling at those players as if they could hear me. I was losing it. I was like, you bunch of pussies. I'm like, go out there and fucking hit somebody. It was brutal, man. I think I might have had a mini aneurysm that night.
I watched a little bit of that game. Golly.
Xavier Thomas is one of the big ones on this. This guy was supposed to be an all-world player. We were told he is a generational talent. That's what we were told. He's had one good play that I remember.
He is all world. If the world is his living room.
He's had one great play, in my opinion, and that was against Syracuse when he got the sack to help seal that game. Other than that, what has he shown on the field?
He's more effective at getting that Explorer back that got stolen from him than he was anything on the field.
My gosh.
I'm just saying it comes down to it. You got to go out and especially on the defensive line. Now, Coach Eason's not going to put up with anybody's bullshit. We know that. He's pretty much on record with that. So I think that the Clemson defensive line is not going to be an area where we think, okay, this is going to be a cause for concern. I don't think the defensive side of the ball is really going to be that big of a big drop down this season. I think with Clemson, it's going to come down to, I don't know who their best receiver is. And I'm not very sure on the offensive line. And Klubnik's got to do something besides running around like he's got poison ivy on his feet. That's the thing with Clemson.
Have y'all not been able to glean any player workout info from anybody or anything like that?
I've heard that the third string running back for Clemson squatted 700 pounds, but he may not see the field this year. So I don't know. You hear
that?
The third string running back for Clemson, the I can't remember his name, but there's video out there that he squatted 700 pounds.
Maffa?
Not Maffa. That's the kid behind Maffa. I got to look it up. But he squatted 800 pounds, and that's all well and good, but he's 5'5" or something like that. He's not, he'll see the field, but it'll be in mop-up duty. Or if Shipley gets hurt and he comes up to the number.
He's on the gas, man.
Gotta be on.
That's amazing still.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Anything else?
Nah, I'm going to get out of here. I'm starting to echo, it sounds like. So y'all have a good one, and we'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks. Somebody asked about that. Let me see if I can find it really quick here, because I think, this is something that I heard, and I think I saw it too. There it is. Here it is. This is from July 7th. And I can show you this because it's right here. It says, Known but to his teammates as Quadzilla, Dominique Thomas. They shared a video. Here it is. It's his own video. Here, I can show this, Jackpot, because this is from Twitter. We're not going to get caught for this, are we? I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so.
I mean, it's his own Twitter page. So, and this is from USA Today. So let's see here. Easy 700 this morning.
Come on, Lee. Let's go, baby. Come on. Take time.
He deadlifted.
It was deadlift. I'm sorry. I mixed
Okay, I was about to say.
Deadlift. Why? My fault. So, yeah, there's that. So he deadlifted 700 pounds.
Well, that's wonderful and all, but I mean that. Congratulations on that, I guess. I don't know.
Let's see here. Jerry says, Rob, would you do a video of your workouts? Why do you want to see me work out? What the hell? That's kind of strange.
What kind of bar was that? He was looking at what they stand. Was he standing in the middle of it?
I don't know. You stand in the middle of it. I don't know.
And there were handles on it. I've never seen anything like that.
I don't know. Well, I just use a standard bar, but I've seen people use those. I don't know. So there's that. All right. Well, we've had a good show, Jackpot. People need to get into the contest. The link is there. We appreciate Big Barney Ross for sending his courier with some of his best bourbon that we're going to auction off at the live show.
Get in the contest, college football YouTubers, $15 entry fee. And when I say, I was asked in the comment section several times what I mean by verified, that you make videos. I have to be able to go over there and look at your channel and see that you have videos on it. I mean, that's pretty much basically it. It's not anything.
Elijah says, when is the cutoff? Well, the cutoff is
September the 2nd, which is that Saturday of week 1 of the noon games. No entries after that point. Now, we are picking the week 0 games. Remember that. So, if you get in the contest early enough to pick those games, then you have a chance. Well, there's 7 games that Saturday. You could go 7-0, and you've got a sizable lead on someone who didn't get into the contest until week 1. Everybody last year, I think, was pretty much in there at week 0, weren't they?
Yeah, I don't think anybody else entered after that, but I mean, it's like when it comes down to it, you should just get in the damn contest. It's not that hard.
Yeah, it's not really.
All right, well, we've had a great show. The folks who showed up this evening, and we appreciate y'all as always. Once again, yeah, Big Barney Ross sending us the bourbon from his collection. I know one of the, what was one of the names of the bourbon? Hold on, I've got it right here. Yeah, it's some Blanton's that he's sending us. Also some of his award-winning barbecue sauce. He's sending us some of that too. Some Blanton's, some Eagle Rare, and Weller, the Weller Special Reserve. That'll be coming our way to auction off for charity. And by the way, Big Barney Ross also has on the Rob and Kale Show website a review of Old Granddad 114. Find out if you should buy and drink the Old Granddad. I don't know if I'm going to drink Old Granddad or not, but Big Barney Ross says you get a lighter fluid cinnamon accompanied by vanilla pudding, caramel, and a trace of baking spices. Read the rest of his blog at our page, robandkaleshow.com. All right, Jackpot, good show, man.
Yes, sir.
Lisa says, will this be autographed? Yeah, we'll have Big Barney Ross sign it before it gets sent down here. All right, appreciate you guys. We'll see you later on.